Order, it's 5:15, all present and accounted for. So, I passed some bills around. Did everybody get a look at them and sign off on them? Everybody comfortable? Well, when you're done with them, will you send them down here to Heidi, please? And then just take a few minutes, if everyone would, and review the minutes from May 13th that Laurie submitted. No. Yes, I will. One moment. But you know something? Thank you, because I probably wouldn't have thought
With the
of
way
it.
today's going, I figure we'll carry all of this together.
Okay, while you're reviewing those, we've got a new member tonight. It's her first meeting, Cheryl Anton. Cheryl, say hello to everybody. The viewing audience.
Hello, everybody.
Our viewing audience of nobody.
Both of them.
I know you've met all
All
the
of them.
members. You've talked to everybody. You know
Yes, I
them
have.
all.
Yes,
Yeah?
I have.
Well,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so
And
much.
welcome aboard.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. And you can vote on the minutes, even though you weren't here, as long as you review them and you're comfortable with them.
I will make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from May 13th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Anybody have any questions, omissions, additions, anything? Nope. Okay. All in favor? Aye. There you go, Laurie.
Thank you.
Okay.
Stellar job.
Also in your packet, you'll see a note that was sent over to the police and fire departments pertaining to the nuisance.
That wasn't, sorry,
What?
that wasn't in the packet. It was just for you to look at,
Oh, it's just for me?
just to make sure if I could send that out tomorrow.
Well, then, you know what, I think maybe what it is it's a call list. And it specifies that Joyce, of course, is the first call, I'm the second, Bill being the third, and the other members are listed below. In the event that, I'll read it. The Board of Health adopted the attached policy for investigation of nuisance conditions on October 25th, 2004, in which the board is requesting that police and fire personnel arriving at the scene assess the problem as to whether it is a true emergency exists and whether the Board of Health has jurisdiction. If the Board of Health response is immediately required due to an imminent health hazard that cannot wait until normal business hours, please notify by contacting the following people in the order of succession. So your names are all on it. If you get to that point where that they've reached you, you know, that's because you have to go and assess the situation. And then if you do respond to a situation like that at any time, the next order of business is to report to Joyce immediately upon the office opening of what went on and give her a full report of what it is, of what happened. That's pretty standard procedure. I'm just doing that more for our new member than you. No, you're looking at me. You know the stuff.
Cheryl, I'll
Okay.
give you a copy of it. I just wanted to make sure it was okay to send that out tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Joyce, you're up. In fact, you know what? Can we move ahead, because we've got a public hearing tonight on a similar matter to the reason that you're here. And because of that, I'd like to get your situation heard before the board, before I have to open the public hearing, okay? So, that said, if nobody has any objections, I'd like to recognize the representatives of the Quick Mart and have you guys recognized to present your case here.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Vinnie, when you speak, you need to go up to the podium and use the microphone. Yeah, you would need to go speak at the podium.
So
with the
you're on,
microphone.
sir. My name is,
Oh, I have to say, my name is Srinivas Vundi. I represent QuickMart.
and you're here because,
I'm here because I was told by Larry that I should come here for hearing of two things. One is tickets, violation tickets, and the other one is insurance certificate, business insurance certificates.
So the issues are, Mr. Vundy's Quick Marts were cited for sale of tobacco in 2 different locations for underage. This is subsequent offenses. And then on top of that, Mr. Vundy is operating without insurance, which is required as part of the permitting process. And this has been a couple of weeks waiting for this insurance rider to come in, and we still have not received it. So Mr. Vundy was told that it would be presented to the board tonight, that both of those issues are outstanding, that he's operating businesses without compliance for the permits that were issued.
can you fill me in? I know where one of the Quick Mart is
One's at the
downtown. Where's
Kingston
other one?
Mall,
Okay,
and one is down here at the bottom of the hill.
okay. What do you have to say, sir?
I want to say first with the insurance certificate. So basically what happened was nowadays lots of companies are not giving, especially for convenience stores, they are not giving business insurance certificate, they are not giving, they stop. And one of them recently, I think one other company said any convenience store, if they do Kino, they are not giving. And the other, there are similar reasons. So finally I was able to get hold of one company and I have the certificate. I have got the certificate for the problem solved. Today I got certificate.
So we have not yet, so that's great, we can make a copy of that and put it in your file.
Yeah, sure. I have certificate for both Quick Marts. But I think today only I thought you guys are referring only to the 78 Summer Street. But I got the one for, I forwarded the email to mall manager, the Kingston mall manager, the other certificate. So both are resolved luckily by today. But now the fact is that nowadays a lot of companies not entertaining convenience stores. I don't know why. That's the whole problem. I was trying almost like 3-4 weeks.
Well, we appreciate you getting into compliance with your permit, sir.
Sorry?
We appreciate you getting into compliance with the
Oh,
permit.
thank you. But I just want to let you know, guys, that there is a problem. Fundamentally, there is a problem nowadays in the market.
Okay,
No companies are giving insurance certificate to the convenience stores.
okay.
The other issue is that there's been repeated inspections at both locations, that the outstanding violations have not been corrected. I know that a $75 reinspection fee, at least one has been issued, and that was enacted after the inspector, I believe, has made 3 prior re-inspections. So things are not getting fixed that need to be corrected in order for the food inspections to be completed and closed out. And the people are at the store, they have to sign that when they do the inspections, somebody is there and people are signing it with the understanding that those things need to be corrected, and they still haven't been corrected, so.
Give me an
There is-
idea of what these violations are, please.
Gaskets, cleaning, out-of-code food. So there's been a variety of different issues that have gone unaddressed. In addition to this insurance issue and then the tobacco issue. I know.
Oh, now my chance to talk?
No, but this isn't new to the board. These issues with out-of-code food go back to the previous health agent, Arthur Boyle. And I specifically remember him complaining to me, or mentioning to me a number of times about that facility and out-of-code product. And at one point, out-of-code product was removed from that store. I have memory of that, clear. So this is not a good situation. We need this cleaned up. So yes, it's your turn to talk.
Okay, so basically, my store in 78 Summer Street, right, the tickets were issued, that's correct. I think some of them are with the landlord. For example, the ceiling tiles is not in our control, it's in the control of the landlord. Landlord is not available to us, he never answer our phone calls. But I will otherwise we have to spend our money from our pocket, and that's ceiling. And second thing is, I think most of the violations found in that store was fixed. Still there are some outstanding. And those outstanding issues, right, I'm engaging my guy, he's the store manager, he's gonna take care of it within weekdays time. Those, for example, one of them is the floor, right, the floor has, it's just marks, they are not dirt. It's marks happened on the floor. It just marks only, they are not the dirt. In order to take out the cleat, I think mostly our option could be, we have to take out the entire, whatever, the floor. Otherwise, I don't think any other option, because the marks are permanent marks, they are not dirt actually. Hazard wise, there is no issue with that, marks on the floor. There could be other tickets, but basically, I have some my own personal problems, lots of issues I'm going through. It doesn't mean that I just ignore the any issues that comes out of the business, even though I have lots of personal issues. I think if I get like maybe 1 week time, I can fix those issues. They are not major, they are minor. That tickets
Joyce.
wise.
Yes.
What are you looking to
Sorry?
have them do? What are the violations, and what actions do you want them to take to clean
Well,
this up?
the grant inspector has been there multiple times and pointed out, and it isn't just about marks on the floor, it's, gaskets that need to be replaced, ceiling fans need to be cleaned, and that the landlord is not responsible for cleaning fans or ceiling tiles or dust. That is the responsibility of the occupant, and so the cleaning things that she's pointed out, obviously out-of-code food should have been pulled off the shelf. So I am more than happy to sit down tomorrow and write a detailed list based off of both sites for each one, everything that's outstanding, that's showing is still outstanding, because everything's on an iPad, so we keep track of it. So I'm more than happy to email that to Mr. Vundi, so he's very clear on what needs to be finished before next week.
Do you have anything from memory that you can share with them now?
I just know gaskets and out-of-code food and basic buildup of dirt in various sections of the store.
So whatever the issues, right, I'm going to engage my guy, he's the manager, he's going to fix, until unless fix, I'm not going to engage him to any other work. He will take care of it.
As I said, I will email Mr. Vundi tomorrow a detailed list for both sites, independent of each other, so he is very clear what needs to still be fixed or repaired or cleaned up prior to the next inspection.
Sure, we'll make sure.
Well, this situation with out-of-code canned goods is dangerous, because we've got a
Agree.
lot of workers in the area who buy those canned goods, pop them open, and eat it for lunch. We just can't have a foodborne illness in the community. It's foolish, it's crazy. You're more than capable of checking the dates to make sure that this food is within the limits, the code limits, for you to sell it. You're very capable of doing that, and we expect you to do that as part of your license, so.
Sure, we'll make sure.
I need you to do that. We need you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
we'll do.
sure.
I
I
will
don't
make
want
sure,
anybody
I will
coming
make
to me
sure.
saying, we got sick after we bought a
I
product.
understand. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with you.
Well, your livelihood depends upon it.
You know, going forward, I understand that these issues have been, you know, previous, well before me. My suggestion would be is if inspections continue to show issues in this area, that Mr. Vundi hire a consultant to go through and maybe do some education with his staff and do a deep look at how they're managing their inventory and what needs to be done to go forward so he can avoid this. I mean, obviously, he'd need to hire that consultant, but it's part of the permitting process to make sure that he is indeed in compliance with what the standards are. If this is, if this continues to be a problem going forward.
No,
Anybody
thanks for the
else?
suggestion.
Anybody else have anything that they'd like to
We've done
add?
the consultant thing before and it works.
With Mr. Vundi? Not with Mr. Vundi's
No.
operations,
No.
though. Right, that's why I'm suggesting it. It can be very helpful to business owners
Yeah, I think
who
if
may
he
not
can't,
be aware of certain requirements.
I think if they're able to get everything up to snuff for the next inspection, everything will be well and fine. But if we, on a subsequent, find again the same
Yeah, we'll make sure,
issues-
we'll make sure
issue,
before
hold
next.
on, I'm speaking, sir. If we find the same issues, I think a consultant should be brought in.
Okay, sure, before next inspection that happens, we will do that.
Well, no, you don't need to bring one in prior to the next inspection. What we're
No,
saying
we
is,
say
once you
that,
get everything up to
well,
par, if something happens
I'm
going
saying
forward,
that- I'm
then we'll
saying-
require that.
I'm saying we will make sure to clear all the issues written listed in the ticket
That would be
as soon
great.
as possible.
And where are we at with the insurance for the mall location? When do you suspect that you will have that piece done? Because this is for this one says 78 Summer Street, so your facility down there is covered for insurance, but the mall is still outstanding, is that correct?
No, I just now shared before, I got the insurance certificates for both locations, and also I said that I forward the email to mall manager with the certificate. I just did before
Okay,
I
so
come
you
here.
need to just forward that certificate for
I can do
the
it now
mall
also.
to us.
Sure.
So we
But
have, just so we
luckily-
can stick it in your file.
No, luckily I got the certificate today after I was putting my effort almost like last multiple weeks. It was happened luckily.
Yeah, me too.
Nowadays,
Sorry, we were under the impression this was for the mall, but it says 78 Summer Street on it, so.
there are two separate certificates.
Right, so we need the one for the mall.
Sure, I will forward that email to you as well.
Perfect.
Anybody else? Cheryl, Dennis?
We're not talking about the cigarette shed, right?
No, that's
No.
at the
That's
public
coming.
hearing.
Okay, so
Does
the
that
resolution
include
for
these?
tonight is,
That Mr. Vundi is agreeing to complete all corrections prior to the next inspection, which would occur next week. I will issue, or create a report of each location and what the outstanding violations are and what needs to be corrected, and that will be emailed to Mr. Vundi tomorrow. And he'll have over a week to get that done, and Mr. Vundi has assured us that he will send us his insurance certificate for the 101 Kingston Collection Way store, so that we have that on file as well. If at any subsequent inspections going forward, after everything is completed, if we continue to see this pattern of problems, we will then ask a consultant to come in to work with Mr. Vundi to make sure that his locations are on par with where they need to be.
are you in agreement with all that?
I agree with it.
Okay. All right, then. For now, we'll consider the matter closed.
Thank you.
And you'll work with the health agent, hopefully to success.
Sure.
Thank you and good luck.
And are we discussing this or not, the tickets?
The cigarettes will be at 6 o'clock. The
6
tobacco
o'clock.
will be at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Oh, here, it's just gonna start in a few minutes, so you can just hang out until it starts at 6 o'clock.
Or you can come back at 6.
Yeah, it's up
Whatever-
to you.
We understand that you are a busy man.
Once we advertise the public hearing, we cannot start it early. We can start it later, but we can't start it before the
Yeah.
advertising.
So you're welcome to come back at 6,
Okay, thank you.
okay?
By the way, just off the, did you have a guest today in the office?
Yeah,
Cover,
yeah, yes,
how'd everything go?
fantastically.
I bet, huh?
Yeah, no, it was good, it was great.
He was so excited to do that. We had Arthur Boyle come in and cover the office this morning.
He just for a couple, because we just.
He was
yeah.
absolutely thrilled to do it when I called him. He
Yeah,
just,
we got a certificate to somewhere.
I'm glad, occasionally you
like
get to
coming
do.
home.
No, it's good. It was helpful to us, and he said he needed a break, and it was good for him to hang out there. I'm like, fantastic,
Good to hear.
yeah.
Okay, so back to it. Joyce, your health agent report
Okay,
was
no-
next.
Not a ton to
Before I
report.
interrupted you.
I'm working on it. We received a complaint Friday after hours, so, I got it, I was checking my messages over the weekend. So, I will be going out and looking at this on tomorrow. We had ServSafe today, so, I just haven't left the office. And apparently there's somebody that's dumping chicken manure and chicken feed, but not like a little bit, like pounds of it on a property, so I will go in and look. Blair Drive?
Yeah, I think that was the-
So, I don't know, I'll let you know, I'm gonna go out and investigate it. Pending projects remain the same, the only thing that's added to this is that 48 Evergreen Street. There's been talks where, there's been an interdepartmental meeting concerning it, just to make sure everybody's ducks are in a row. I'll be reviewing that septic plan to let Jason know if it meets the requirements for what they're proposing. Inspections, we've had continued retail grant inspections. Again, this is every other week we get our grant inspector, so she is fantastic. We are on schedule, all of the required. I've put everybody, all permits, on the FDA grant standard schedule, so depending on your risk category will determine how many times a year that you are assessed, so ranging from 2 times a year up to 4 times a year. If you like the markets that have sushi or anybody that's doing specialized process, they'll be 4 times a year. A regular restaurant that does not serve sushi will be 3 times a year. And then our convenience stores and like Ace Hardware, they're twice a year along with the school. So we're on par to, everything's tracked to meet all the required inspections before the end of the year. I closed out the 96 Main Street complaint. Both occupant as well as owner have corrected the violations, so that's all set. I issued complaints for 4 Spring Street, Apartment 2, both owner and occupant were cited. Hopefully that will be coming to a close this week, or at least on the occupant's part. That sounds like they've cleaned up what they needed to fix. I am waiting to hear from the owner. Pool inspections were completed at Treetop Condos, The Point Apartments, as well as Indian Pond Country Club. And so all are permitted. The only caveat with Indian Pond is if the aquatics company that's going to be running the pool for the season does not turn in certificates for lifeguards, the permit will be pulled until such time that we receive all the certificates as is required by the state laws. Trainings and meetings, I met with Rachel Fleck, who works for MMA, and they do what's called a tabletop presentation. It's a way for the seniors to develop emergency preparedness plans. It's free to us, so I am absolutely on board. So they'll come and they'll look at different situations, scenarios. I'll meet with them in the fall. So we'll get a free emergency plan out of it, and it's good for the students. It gives them some good experience. So I met with her. I also met with Nick Dia, it's supposed to be Dia Benetto. He is a representative from a company that does digitization of records. This will be paid for through our excellence grant. It will be a way to digitize all of the lovely files that are in the attic at no expense to us and make that all the more accessible. So I met with him. We had an interdepartmental meeting for 70 Summer Street, which is the expansion to include more apartments at that location. We had our grant meeting in Carver. Nothing exciting to report other than every time we come up with ways to spend the money, the state's like, oh no, can't be this, can't be that. So we've decided, we've requested that they give us a list of what we can spend the money on because it's getting a little frustrating. So hopefully we will be getting, we will be taking CPR classes to get certified, but then also become certified trainers, which is good for our town because we can then offer, if I'm a certified trainer, can offer CPR classes as part of the health department, which is good for everybody at a reasonable price, much like we're doing for ServSafe. I attended the Mosquito Control Commission meeting. Spraying is started at this point. Nothing major to report there, other than, you know, people can choose to opt out. They just need to call. We had training through, I think this one was through NEHAR for the recreational camp changes. We've had some updates in the state law of requirements for residential, either day or overnight camps, is what's required as part of the permitting process. So I'm sitting down, looking at those changes and coming up with a template of what's going to be expected for all the camps in the area to complete, to make sure that we, as the permitting authority, as well as the camp, are in compliance with what those requirements are. I will be meeting with an old colleague of mine on Thursday. She's going to come here because she does a lot of the camps. She's the public health nurse from Milton. So she's agreed to come down. She's already been working on a template. So we're going to use that to go over what changes are so that you might as well streamline it and get it done quicker. In addition to that, there was also a Zoom training on water and pool safety to make sure that we're in compliance with state regulations. And then for Region 5 emergency preparedness, we had a health equity training in emergency preparedness, just making sure that we're including all segments of our populations and addressing any outstanding issues that may be an issue for one segment of the population. And then we did conduct a ServSafe class today, and you can see the septic and perk inspections that have occurred over the last couple of weeks.
Does anybody have any questions on any of the items
So you're gonna become a
in the health
CPR
agent's report?
instructor?
Yeah, I actually used to be
I
instructor.
will do it with you,
I just let it,
because it's easier to run with two people in a class.
yeah, well,
like to-
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Well,
didn't
let's
hear
just
you.
get
I
the
didn't hear your
stupid
question.
certificate.
I said I am happy to become a CPR instructor with her,
Oh, well, that sounds
because
We may have
It gives us-
spots, because you are part of the board. I may need, that would be great, because I have to meet a quota of how many people. I was responsible for that piece of it, getting the information, so I will keep you informed.
I used
good. Anybody else have any questions? Anything to add with the health agent's report? Now would be the time. Anything?
Mm.
Good, you're all good?
We don't have anything from health.
Okay,
agency, right?
let's give Joyce a break.
All right.
Laurie,
It's right there. I'm sorry?
do you have,
Yeah,
do you have a Healthy Kingston report?
we do, I'm just trying to find
It's
it.
right
No, would you give it
Right
to
here, isn't
Laurie?
No, this is, oh, maybe. Healthy Kingston, taped on May 23rd.
Yeah, well, it's gonna let Laurie read it.
Oh,
you want me
great,
to
knock
do it?
yourself out, fine by me. Sorry,
All
it
right.
says to be read by Joyce,
I
so.
saw that.
All right, I'm just
Let's
doing
give
what
her
it
a
says.
break.
To be
That's
read
all.
by me, okay. Janet stated that Healthy Kingston was taped on May 23rd. The topic was care for the caregiver. Her guest speaker was Julie Ford, life transition advisor with Dovetail. She also made announcements concerning mosquito control, permits for food events, and the upcoming Serve Safe training. Her next taping is June 20th. The topic is to be determined. That is it.
And Dennis, Janet's trying to get in touch with you pertaining to some history on the health board.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Janet, for inclusion in our forthcoming book.
Dennis,
Dennis,
turn your
mic
He
microphone
just
on.
did.
Huh? What?
Cheryl turned it on for him.
It's on.
It is on?
Yeah, Cheryl turned
Okay,
it, she
it's all
reached
good
over
now.
and.
All good, got the
Okay,
thumbs up.
she wants an article on the Board of Health, and some help, writing it, for inclusion in the upcoming, book for our 300th anniversary. And I said, oh, sure, no problem. Well, I got a list of questions from her, and I didn't know the answer to them, like, when was the Board of Health established? When was, this is way before my time, and this is where I'm hoping that either our health agent or I think we're a member of Mass Accredited Boards of Health. Some of the history of health law.
Well, what I've been able to do is put her in touch with Dick Aruda, who was on the original Board of Health. After the selectmen set it up. Dick
Yeah,
was one of the
before,
original.
before we had an independent Board of Health.
Correct,
The selectmen were the Board of
Correct.
Health.
right.
And prior to that, when did the selectmen first assume the responsibility for health issues in the municipality of Kingston? I know that a lot of this stems from around the turn of the last century. Around 1900, there was a movement toward public health.
Dennis, do you know there's an antiquarian librarian at Kingston Library that can probably help you with a lot of this?
Wait a sec. She's already spoken to Ken Stevens at length. She has a meeting scheduled with Dick Aruda. She just wants to get some information from you. And time is of the essence.
I
So please
understand
call
that,
her
but also
back.
knowledge is of the essence, and I don't have a clue.
I think you might be able to help her a little bit more than you know. Sometimes you get talking about something and things click. Just give her a call. That's all she wants.
Well, I did.
Okay,
I got a nice letter from her.
okay.
With a list of 45 items.
She just wants it to come out as good as it can, and those two have already helped her out quite a bit. I think she's looking for some more, say, within the past 15 or 20 years, 25 years right now, and that's what she's looking to you for, just so you know. She called me, she told me to ask you to call her, and if you've called her, she wants to talk to you. So, that's all I got on it.
So we have
Okay.
15 minutes before this thing needs to start.
Well, that's it for Healthy Kingston for tonight anyway, huh?
Yep.
Okay, well, reorganization. It's that time of year again.
I will move to nominate Joe Casna for chair. If you wish to continue, if you do not, I would open it, request other nominations.
No, I would accept that, if somebody will second it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other nominations for the chairman of the health board? Okay,
Oh, we want to do a slate. I'll take Mr. Caval for vice chair.
well, you want to vote on them one at a time?
We could do that.
Okay. All in favor of Joe for chair, say aye.
Aye.
No, aye.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, so, vice chairman, are there any nominations for vice chairman? Or any interested parties for vice chairman?
I would be happy to do it if Bill does not want to do it. Does that make sense? Do you want to remain vice chair, Bill?
Oh, I don't care, but if you'd like to give it a shot, that'd be nice.
I'd love to give it a shot.
All right,
Is that what you want?
yeah,
The
that'd be nice.
nominator.
I nominate you.
Thank you, Bill.
Second.
Thank you, Dennis.
Any other nominations?
Because I know you'll do a nice job.
Shirley, you sure you don't want to get nominated here?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there
First
any oth-
meeting, you want just
Let me
dive
just
right
get in
in?
here,
Yeah, what the
I
heck?
get my toes wet first.
Or Dennis. Dennis has experience. Okay, so, hearing no other nominations, all in favor of Heidi Whipple as vice chair of the Health Board?
Hi.
Aye.
Hi, thank you.
Aye, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I
I
know
am
you,
managing children at the same time.
so
Excuse me,
we're
it's
okay
always
with that. Joyce, would you like to talk to us about the private?
Oh, would I ever?
Okay,
So apparently, the recycling committee decided that the Board of Health should, or excuse me, the Health Department should be responsible for getting quarterly reports for trash hauling. So we are spending hours on this because they just do not send them in.
Mike.
Sorry, it's like two of them. So they're not sending them in. We have reached out repeatedly to DEP to be told that they don't follow up on this. So at this point, if they do not send them in, we are sending them an email. And if they respond, great. If not, I have spoken to recycling, and I said that when they have their next meeting with the DEP liaison, I'm more than happy to come and speak at it and ask them for suggestions on what exactly it is they think that we're going to do. Because I really can't I can't tell you, you can't haul trash if you've given me all the components that you, the board, require for a trash hauling permit, because quarterly reports is not one of them. So unless you all want to make that as part of your requirements for permitting, then I don't feel that I have the ability to revoke someone's permit, because that is not part of the requirement that we laid out. So if you would like to change that as the board, by all means, and then I'll have some teeth. But at this point, we have no, there's no consequence to not sending that in.
Now, who palmed this off on us again?
I believe it was the recycling committee. I'm not really clear on, because this is pre-me, I just walked into it. And we have been trying, but I cannot justify advocating Lori's hours to be repeatedly chasing down on the phone, by email. I mean, we've had lengthy conversations with various trash haulers who just don't send it in. Lori has called. I have spoken to them. We have sent repeated emails. We CC DEP on it. So, again, until such time that we require quarterly reporting as part of the permitting process, I really don't have any ability to impose a consequence.
what's the current fee for the private haulers in the town?
Do you know?
Oh, it's either 200 or 225.
Yeah, it's like 200, 225?
So they pay $225 a year for the privilege of picking up trash in the
Yeah.
town of Kingston,
Mm-hmm.
okay? How many of them do we have? 4, 5, 6?
I think there's 8.
Okay, there's 8. Okay, so what the recycling committee wants is to get a handle on what they're processing for recyclables. That's what they're looking for. I'm the liaison, and we'll get into that in a minute, to the recycling committee. That's what they're looking for. And they'd like to get some teeth in it, and that being getting these quarterly reports so that they could find out what they're picking up for recycling in the town of Kingston. Because they're supposed to pick up both. They're not supposed to just pick up one or the other, and that's the way it's supposed to work. But by them not submitting any reports whatsoever, the recycling committee has nothing to go by as far as what's coming in or going out for recycling with private haulers. That's what they're looking for, and those are the reasons why.
Why can't they get these things?
They have no,
Well, just-
relationship with the private haulers.
So just as a clarification, I just want you all to know, I have been here now over a year by a couple of days. I have not once had anybody from the recycling committee ask to see quarterly reports, nor DEP. That's number one. Number two, my understanding is that it is supposed to be two-stream collection, and there's no way to verify that. If you're putting it all in one truck, and then what you'll get is, oh, they take it to CMAS, they separate it.
That's what
No,
s-
they don't.
That is what they say.
I know that, but I live 2 miles from it. No, they don't.
So back to what Bill asked you a moment ago, and I interrupted him, I'm sorry about that. Who's laying this off on the office now? Who's saying this?
My assumption, because I don't know any different, is that recycling committee enacted this reporting in conjunction with DEP, and we were told that we had to do it. It was part of our job to collect it, so I have no idea where it came from, because it was already in place when I got here. But I guess my question is, yeah, who died and told us that we have to do it? And two, okay, if it is that we need to do it, what is the purpose of it if we're not getting responses and there's no way to enforce it?
Okay, I'm gonna suggest that you have a quick conversation with Paul Basler.
Oh, I've talked to Paul, I've talked to Jean. That's where I got the invitation to attend the next recycling meeting.
Oh,
So I'll let you know how that goes.
Joe will be there.
I probably will, yes.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yes, Dennis.
Okay, as I understand it, if I'm following this conversation, that we're not getting the reports, and we don't have any authority to terminate the license or permit that is, the reports are generated from, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, implicit within, any time that you have a license from a town, implicit in that is you comply with all the associated regulations and requirements for having that license. One of those requirements is the submission of reports. If you fail to submit what you're looking for is additional language. In other words, if we pass a regulation or an amendment that simply says failure to give them 90 days to produce a report that's supposed to be, has to be done on a cycle.
They're
and it's
supposed to
90 days
return it
late.
in every 90 days.
What?
They're supposed to turn one in every 90 days. It's quarterly.
They have 30 days at the
Yeah.
end of each quarter to
What I'm saying
turn
is
it
that
in.
you can have, if somebody is remiss in presenting a report, you give them a 30-day notice that your report has been presented. If at the 90-day mark, you still have not presented a report, your license is terminated.
And what teeth do we have?
Suspended.
I'm not being a wise guy here, but are you expecting me to drive around the town of Kingston and follow to make sure trucks aren't picking up trash?
No, what I would suggest, rather than you do that, because once we have terminated the license of a hauler,
Yeah,
we simply notify the Kingston Police Department if they spot one of their trucks in town doing a delivery, they're in violation of public health law. You're not supposed to take your time out and jump in and become a patrol vehicle.
right, that's my point, but who is coming down with this quarterly reporting is DEP. And when I call DEP or email them and they quote, yeah, we don't track that, you put the requirement in, but you are not doing anything when they don't do it.
If DEP is not tracking them, and this is just, there's a lot of government paperwork that is simply done out of custom for no apparent reason, because nobody ever uses the reports. I'm all for just abandoning the requirement for a report. If nobody uses it, nobody reads it, nobody looks at it, why hold somebody's head on a chopping block for not producing a report that nobody uses?
Well,
Just
I'm
get
not,
rid of the
that's not my
requirement for a
decision
report.
to make, so I'm just giving you the information.
I mean, I have nothing against government, I have nothing against bureaucracy, but I do have something against mundane duplicate reports that are unnecessary, unread, unwanted, and unused. That's a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of your time trying to track them down. It's the waste of the hauler's time to fill out a report. It's just absolute busy work. And if that's what, it turns out that's what it is, I'd say we end it. We terminate the busy work and
Well, I think this has to, if, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't this have to do with funding? Like, because we do this, we get some kind of funding from the state?
It opens the door to grants, yes.
Yeah, so therein where lies the problem.
What
We
I
have
would
to be
suggest would be
careful.
this, based on my involvement with the
Yeah.
recycling. Yes.
I've been down there where the trash all goes,
Mhm.
and I know $30,000.
Bill?
Microphone.
30,000, I don't need that. $30,000
You do
in
need
cash they find every day that goes through there. They find things, they go through stuff, believe me. So if they're going through that and finding coins, you know they're splitting the trash too, because I know people that work in there. So they know the stuff that comes in because they split it, because there is a big company that takes all that cardboard and they make stuff out of it. So it seems like we're getting stuck with something we should be doing. And I'm voting no on any of it.
Time out. Well, there's not,
I'm not shutting off companies and nobody else cares, not even the state.
my,
And we
sug-
have trash all over the place like in Boston. I ain't gonna do it.
okay, my suggestion would be this. Joyce, you've been invited or asked to attend the next recycling committee meeting. Why don't you do that and ask them what they're looking for the Board of Health to do?
Okey dokey.
To, and then come back and we'll discuss
Okay,
what they'd
sounds,
like and what we
sounds
might
good.
find practical.
okay.
Okay, can we go that route?
I think that's wonderful,
Everybody
Joe.
okay with that?
I think that's a lovely idea.
Okay, and what I
Fantastic.
was starting to say before, sometimes things just sort of trigger a thought. And when I said I'm the person that is the liaison member to the recycling committee, it brought to mind you. Janet, correct me if I'm wrong, was the liaison member to the library,
And,
Healthy Kingston, but now she's still got Healthy Kingston.
oh, we're not gonna make Cheryl take over Healthy Kingston?
So I'm asking you if it's okay with you, if you would talk to Janet and pick up that duty, that,
We all have like subcommittees.
we all have
Sure.
one. And I had
And the
recycling, who'd you have?
I have
Bill had
recreation
the
now.
water department.
Doesn't he have
You had the water
COA?
department.
Water department,
Dennis had
the next door.
senior center. And Heidi had
Rec.
rec, okay? And now
I go
you have
between
the
school
library.
board and rec, depending on where the needs are.
Okay, so that said, if you're okay with that, I'd ask that you get in touch with Janet and just have a brief conversation with her pertaining to what she was doing, and if you could pick that up, if you wouldn't mind, it would be good.
I know she had library, but I think she had another one too. And I don't think it was just Healthy Kingston.
Because I know my.
Any help down there, Laurie, excuse me, Bill?
I'm sorry?
Any help down there? Do you know of any other that Janet may have had in addition to the library?
No, sorry, I don't.
I don't either. I thought it was Healthy Kingston. But if you think of it, if something,
Janet will know.
okay, so
could just email
we have
Yeah.
a scheduled public hearing pertaining to the smoking regulations. So
The
I need a
sale of
motion.
tobacco.
Yeah, I need a motion to open the public hearing. Done.
Dennis, that's all you. No, we'll adjourn it after the,
Yes, I have it right here.
Okay, move pursuant to the public notice published by the town of Kingston, that the Board of Health will hold a public hearing under Chapter 270, Section 6, with public discussion of the amending or changing of tobacco regulation enforcement section to include remove the removal of tobacco products from being sold when a violation for the sale of tobacco to a minor is given. The date of the hearing is set for Monday, June 3rd, that's today, at 6 o'clock, the hour being 6 o'clock more or less. I move that the meeting, the public hearing be in session.
Second that.
Second.
There you go. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so, public hearing is open.
Do we have an example of the exact language we want to have that we're considering
I have the
adopting?
statute from the state as to what the consequences can be from the actual tobacco laws. So first violation of a sale of tobacco to a minor is a $1,000 fine to be imposed. And by the way, all the monetary fees are non-negotiable. We cannot rescind them, we cannot reduce them, they are imposed by the state. The second violation, within a 36-month period from the first violation, results in a $2,000 fine, and the prohibited sale of tobacco products for at least 1 day and up to 7 days. A third violation in a 36-month period from the initial violation results in a $5,000 fine and a loss of sale of tobacco products is imposed from 7 days up to 30 days. So it would be helpful if we had firm dates set on what the business loss will be going forward, because we are looking at multiple offenses. We have had 9 different violations just in the last compliance check, so that is a problem.
And out of that
And
9, how many have received notice of the fine, and how many have paid? it?
Everybody has received notice of the fine immediately after the citations were issued. And as you can see, we have 3 outstanding fines that have not been paid, 2 of which are the Quick Marts, and 1, I believe, is Kingston Liquors.
But these other companies have already paid these
Everybody
fines?
else has paid their fines.
Okay, so the purpose of this hearing is for the board to consider whether to add suspension of the sale of products to the existing fine structure. That's why we're here. In other words, you can pay your fine and continue to sell the products. Whereas what the board was saying was maybe we could not only pay the fine, but suspend the sale of the products for a period of time, especially on multiple violations for the same place. So that's what the purpose of the hearing is. Dennis, yeah.
The number of violations we have, how does that compare to previous compliance checks we've had in the past? Is this, that seems to be an awfully high number to me.
Oh, no, they're pretty consistent with previous ones. We have multiple reoffenders of, some people are on their second and third violations.
I thought we were doing better there for a while.
Okay, well, not from the stuff that I pulled from the previous couple of years.
Wow.
So,
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think we need
I'm
to-
surprised by that number 9.
and by the way, after speaking with Bob Collette from the commission that does the compliance checks, my understanding is it's not, maybe we impose a business loss, it's either 1 to 7 days for the second offense and 7 to 30 days. It's just that you are picking a time frame or amount of days that the license is lost to sell those, that the tobacco needs to be pulled. It's not maybe we lose our right to sell. It is that the law states that it's a 1 to 7 days for a second offense or 7 to 30 for a third offense.
So we're really just picking
You're
the
picking a
amount of
time
days.
frame.
I feel very passionately about this. and I suggest we go with the maximum amount of days for loss of business. It is not acceptable to be selling to minors an addictive product which has been proven with detrimental health effects.
And, Joe,
No,
I'm
listen.
not surprised at this because I checked into it and Plymouth straightened out some of the regulations down there. And they talked to people, they were told to come up to Kingston, it's easier. That's what happened, Joe.
Wow.
Yeah, Plymouth has imposed, just so everybody's clear, Plymouth has imposed business losses for every violation. They're nipping it in the bud because the slap on the wrist, $1,000 fine, a $2,000 fine, or $5,000 fine does not even close to equal the amount of revenue that is generated from the sale of tobacco product, be it vapes, cigarettes, cigarellas, rolling, any of that stuff. So it's the consequence is not such that it is deterring people from continuing to sell to minors.
Well, you're, if I could, through the chair.
Yeah, go right ahead, Dennis.
You're suggesting that the loss of the ability to sell or profit from the sale of tobacco products be a much more effective deterrent than a monetary fine?
It would be both, Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to.
Yes.
Nothing motivates people more than the loss of revenue.
Well, no, I'm all in favor of that because this is not a harsh or draconian measure on our part. All that is required to avoid this is simply comply with the law. If you are unable to comply with the law, you should not have the privilege of selling tobacco. It's a controlled substance. If you can't control the sale of tobacco, and your staff is unable or unwilling to apply the standards of the law and hopefully your corporate policy, you should lose the ability to profit from the sale of tobacco because it is a controlled substance. Businesses know that going in when they apply for a license. We remind them constantly. Their diligence or lack thereof is a direct consequence of their actions. We don't go in and force somebody to sell or purchase illegally tobacco products. We don't even do the compliance checks, but we are the authority that ultimately collects these funds, right? These fines.
Well, actually, I believe that I'm not sure that the funds actually come directly to us. I don't know
I
if they
think
go
they go
to the
general
state.
fund.
Yeah.
It goes to the general fund. We don't have a slush fund made of
No, we don't.
tobacco violations.
Would be nice. I just want to point out to everyone that there is free training provided from the state for any vendor who chooses to sell those products, that they can access at any time to train their employees. There is a clearinghouse with free posters that provide for all of the things that you need to have posted in your store. So the access to proper training and proper signage is there. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and it's accessible all the time. So there really isn't an excuse to be doing things correctly.
You know, and if, I would suggest that if I ran a business, I'm not telling anybody how to run their business. If I ran a business and and a significant portion of my profit stream was the sale of tobacco products, okay? I would make sure that the person behind the counter, whoever they were, was a stakeholder. Okay, if we go 6 months without a violation, you get a $100 bonus. If you want to have enforcement of regulations, make stakeholders. You're a stakeholder in the process because you stand to lose a lot of money if you were in violation. The poor clerk, what do they get out of it? They get fired if they make a mistake. There's no incentive. So, spread the wealth a little bit, spread the responsibility, spread the ownership,
So
make
I don't think
stakeholders.
we have like you were saying, Dennis, I don't think we have the ability to do that. I
That's
think-
beyond our scope. That's
Exactly.
outside of our scope. I'm just
Exactly. What we
thinking-
do have the scope is to make this a very unappealing thing to do.
What's that?
What we do have within our scope is to make this unappealing. Being that, to deter them
I
from
would say
sale of
the
tobacco.
loss of the ability to sell and profit is a big deterrent.
That's what I'm
And from my standpoint, as a member of the Board of Health, that is not so much a punishment for the business, it's a protection for the community. Tobacco and nicotine, I'm a smoker, I'm gonna be upfront. Nicotine is one of the most addictive products known to mankind. It is one of the most addictive drugs out there. I don't want to see anybody start smoking tobacco or using nicotine. They don't need to. One cigarette can get you addicted. And I got addicted when I was 15 years old in high school because I caught a cigarette sailing across the room. And I lit it up, smoked it, and I've been smoking ever since. And I think about probably hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million worth of money gone into tobacco and whatever health related issues. If we can stop that from happening to one child because somebody was selling tobacco illegally, it's worth it.
Cheryl?
I agree. I feel like you need to maybe have all your employees take the course. If it's free, why wouldn't you want your employees to protect your business? And as a parent, it's disturbing to know that my child could possibly go buy cigarettes in my town. It is our job to protect our community, so I feel we need to do that.
Anybody else? Joyce, just to clarify, there's a free online course.
Yes, through the state. If you just Google tobacco regulations, there's a clearinghouse, there's training provided, that they
There's an
watch a
online
video that
course.
shows how to do a ID, what you should be asking for, how to do it. You can call it Tobacco Control
If I were to
Commission.
If I were to go onto this website and take this course, is there any documentation that I can obtain at the end of the course to show that I took it?
I
If you know.
can't answer that, I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's assume that there is, just for the
I
heck of it.
imagine that there's something to say that you did do it.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Sir, you came to be heard on this matter? I welcome you.
Oh, I should say something or any, I don't know, the next steps.
We want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, my
And
thought,
we-
definitely I hear what you guys are talking about. It's illegal to sell tobacco products to underage. It should be only allowed to adults, I think 21 plus only, I agree. Basically, I have two stores. One store in 78 Summer Street and the second one inside the Kingston Mall. I would like to start with the one inside the Kingston Mall. So in the Kingston Mall, our store, he's the manager who was at the time of selling, whatever the date, he was managing the store. So, but the thing is that, on the ticket, the price is $2 and something for a cigar. In our store, the minimum price of this cigar is starting with $5.99, something like that. There is no cigar with $2 something in our store. And second thing is, we always check the IDs before we sell any product to any person, irrespective of the way they look. We confused now how that happened. We are trying to digest how that it can be possible. And the ticket says no receipt. That's also we confused. Like if any person comes in as a inspection, right, whatever, they should get the at least receipt. Otherwise, how we can understand the whole thing is actually really happened. So basically, we are confused. The
So
point I want to say that we are totally confused.
what are
on-
you confused about, sir? Because you have multiple sales without IDs checked. I have pages here of them for your stores.
When he said multiple sales without ID,
One,
Let me see, 'cause some of
two.
them might be
we
fine.
don't have those records. We never received those records.
You were
How
in
much
here
they
last
cost?
year and you
This
guys
is
reduced his fee.
$6.35, $13 cigarettes, like.
No, as I mentioned, we only got this violation ticket only.
What do you,
How-
no, you've been in here before for violations, sir.
Sorry?
You have been in here requesting us to reduce your violation
Which was
fee.
done.
No, that is the first violation. We are talking about the second violation. In the second violation, on the ticket, it says the price tag is $2 and something for a cigar, but in our store, minimum price of cigar is itself is a $5.99, starts with $5.99.
There's
So
nothing.
we're trying to
I
understand,
see
we
what he's trying
confused
to say.
totally.
There's one that's got a $2 price tag, and he's saying he doesn't sell something at that price.
No, I think he said it's got.
Now, basically, if anyone comes, right, I'm trying to understand how whole thing this works. I come as a undercop, for example, and I try to buy something, right? I have the product, tobacco product, I'm a minor. I have tobacco product in my hand, and then I walk away, but I should also get this receipt. That's only proof, right? Oh, I bought this item from this store. Without any receipt, how this is actually. No, I'm trying to understand. I'm totally new to all these things. Even though I come from India, we try to do business, convenience store, but basically.
So this is the state that comes down and does these inspections, not us, correct? The state
It's an
sends
outside
people
agency.
in,
Yeah, I know.
underage, to
That-
do this.
That I know, that I can understand, but I'm trying to understand, the point is that, right, if some undercop person comes and buy thing without a receipt, how this is can be possible to, oh, actually it has happened.
What? I'm confused.
Yeah,
So are
I'm
you
totally
telling me,
confused.
no, hold on one second. Are you telling me you don't understand how they're able to fill this out and that it might not have
No, I'm saying
occurred?
that, listen, pretend I'm a undercop. I come to the store, I went to a store. Pretend I'm a undercop. I'm trying to understand how this whole thing is working.
So what they
I'm
do
a-
is they take an underage child, like I have a 15-year-old who looks like he's 20. Send him into your store, and they have asked this child to go in and attempt to buy tobacco as an underage individual without an ID, who
Yeah,
happens to look
I-
old enough,
I-
because
I-
there are plenty of them out there, and we all know
I
it.
completely understand, but
Okay,
my
so I don't
point
understand
is,
what you're arguing about, sir.
No,
And-
I'm
and
not
the person's
arguing.
with
I'm
them,
trying
the
to
compliance
understand the whole
person's with
thing.
them.
I'm not arguing at all. There is no question of any argument. I'm trying to understand how this can be, how this works. Let me explain. Pretend I'm a person like, I'm a underage person. Some inspector sent me to buy a product from the store. I went there, I asked the guy, hey, I want to buy something, and the guy gave me and put it in my pocket and left. But thing is that what is the thing that can tell this really happened? If I have the receipt,
The inspector stays in the store with them.
They're right outside, so when he goes to the
They
mall,
wait outside, I think.
the
Yeah.
person that he goes, the inspector, watches the kid go into the store. The
Yeah.
kid has to bring the product out, they have it.
I know,
They give
but
him the money to buy it.
Agree. What is the, I understand someone is watching, but what is the proof to say that actually really happened? It can be fabricated also.
Okay, he's saying they're just making it up and
Yeah,
arbitrarily
someone is
If
not
saying that
happy-
he's selling to.
No, I'm trying to understand, without any without any receipt, without any proof, how that this can be, why we cannot be say that it's a fabricated story?
Mr. Chair,
Dennis?
point of order. The purpose of the public hearing, as I understand it, and you correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I know what you're gonna say, and you're right.
The
I
purpose
know.
of the public hearing is comment on
Yes, I know.
a pending proposal to prohibit the sale of tobacco in.
Dennis
as a
is right.
result of,
I've let this get a
more
little further
than
out
one-
there.
a certain number of violations.
Yeah.
It is not to adjudicate the conditions surrounding a previous violation. We're not a court. We're
Yeah, I
simply opening this
understand.
up to hear
So-
your thoughts on our proposed regulation going forward, not so much to replow the fields of history.
Yeah, so.
You,
No,
you-
we are, definitely, I agree, I say that it's a, if that is if that is really happened, it's too bad, I agree. We should make sure that no tobacco sell to a underage person, because I also have my daughter is in UCLA, she's a top student. Why she's a top student? Because she's working hard, she's since a smart grade, we make sure she did very well. Similarly, other parents also do the thing the same way. We are not here to spoil society. But I don't know, like, I'm trying to understand how this has happened. Okay, that's fine. So you guys let us know what I should do at this point. We'll do it.
Pay your fine would be stunning.
Well, and
you are currently facing fines that have been
Okay.
levied by the state, by this board, and we're governed by the state. You came before us once before, a few years back,
Yeah, I know, I
and we
remember.
worked some things out.
Agree, I remember.
And we were able to do that at that
Sure.
time. The state has now stepped in and said, no more of that.
I know, I
As
can
a matter of
understand.
fact-
That also I got it, definitely.
And
But at
just-
the time, today only we got this letter from the court. Today only we got this letter from the court saying that I have to go for attend the hearing on September 9th, 2 p.m. There is hearing.
yeah,
Because you didn't
So-
pay the fines.
No problem. So at this point, shall we wait till this time and go to the court and decide, or we have to pay the penalty? I don't know. I'm confused.
that's exactly where you'll deal with your penalty, is in the court system, sir.
Okay, so I think
He
we
can
go
pay
to
it
the
ahead.
court and pay
You can
the.
pay it before
can
if
pay
you
it
want to
before
avoid
and then
court.
don't go to the court
Sorry,
hearing.
say again?
You can pay
You
it,
can pay the fine,
not
and you
go to
won't have
court.
to appear.
No, I go to the court, maybe I go there to court and I talk to the same thing. I'm gonna ask the same questions
That's
in the
fine.
court.
that's fine.
You
Because
can do
I'm trying to
that.
understand.
You're
You know,
right.
My manager is saying, I think this place is not for the argument. I completely understand. But we think that it's all fabricated story.
But as Dennis pointed out to you, and he's correct,
Yeah.
this is a
So
little
shall we-
outside the scope of why we're here tonight. Why we're here tonight is to consider revising these regulations, not only to have them be fines, but also to have them take away your ability to sell these products for a period of time. That's why we're here. It's gotten a little out of hand as far as your
Yeah, I
situation.
understand. So my question to you guys is that, can I wait till this hearing without any problem? Or I have to pay the penalty as soon as possible?
I understand. You can go down and talk to the clerk, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. But in the meantime, if you don't want to do that, those are the fines, they're imposed, it's regulated by the state, there's nothing more I can do about that.
No problem. We'll pay the fine. If the court decides we have to pay the fine, we pay the fine.
If you're going to pay the fine, and you don't have to go to court.
No, it's okay. We go to the court. Court is right here. It doesn't matter. Only we just go there and
It's the court's-
Whatever you
couple of
decide to
times.
do, that's your decision.
Dismiss it.
I can't advise you in that regard.
Mr. Bundy, what was the date of the hearing that you got assigned?
September 9th.
Thank you.
September 9th, 2 p.m.
You're going to get notified, or the clerk's office will get notified and send it to you. Okay, so, moving on this matter. Okay.
I'd like to,
I have some thoughts that I'll
Can you
just
pick a-
bounce off you, and then you
for
can tell me what you
minutes?
think. How's that? Okay? What if we did this? A first offense on something, as far as I'm concerned, and you have to agree, I like to look at it as a learning experience. And I don't want to make, I wouldn't want to make it too harsh. I would, I would
Business
want,
loss for the first experience. There's no
this
business
is my,
loss.
this is my opinion. I know you might not share it. I would like to see the first offense go with a requirement in addition to the fine, though those employees at that facility take the online course and present some type of a certificate to the Board of Health to show that they've been educated on the matter, and to come to the Board of Health and present the fine and the certificate here to
For
make it.
all active employees, Joe?
Yes,
I
of
like
that
that idea.
facility on a first offense. That would be my opinion.
I agree with you.
If in fact there's a second offense, I would propose that the board take the tobacco product sale license away for a period of 10 days. On a third offense, I would propose a 30-day loss of the same privilege. Those are my thoughts. Anybody else?
Joe, you can't exceed 7 days on the second offense. It's 1 to 7. That's not my rule, that's
Okay,
what this
7.
says.
Then 7.
7 days.
And what about the third?
Third offense can
30.
go up to 30 days.
And I
What
would
about
do the
fourth?
30.
They-
Fourth would be, in
They're
my
hoping you've
opinion,
learned your lesson, because
No,
there
but
is
I
no
feel-
if
fourth
there's
on
a
here.
fourth, I would say permanent.
I
Yeah,
would say
permanent
permanent
loss.
too, and that's what I would like to see.
I would say 1 year. 1 year, because you could have a new management, you know, I wouldn't.
Oh, he's right. He's right.
So
So
can I
fourth
ask you,
Buy
offense,
the
1 year
business.
loss.
can I talk now sir, about my
Or
case?
what about changing ownership?
Or change.
Then they'd come in
You
and
gotta be
reapply for the
careful with that, though,
license.
because if you can have a husband that changes it to the wife's name, and you really haven't changed ownership. So it should be sale of the business.
Sale of business?
Sale of the business to an unassociated party.
Okay.
Because
So-
I can just put my business in my husband's name, and suddenly it's not mine anymore, so that would allow me to get the license back.
So can I talk now a little bit? Okay, how about if you guys give me like $4,000, right, together? I pay the amount,
Well,
$4,000.
let me point, excuse me, let me point one thing out to you, sir, before you go too far down the road. This really doesn't apply to you unless you get in trouble again.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So if you card everybody,
Well, if you do a good job and we
but
never
it would
see
be
you
moving forward,
again,
Cheryl.
this doesn't apply to
It would be
you.
moving
We can't go
forward.
retro.
So basically, the point I want to say that, right, this $4,000 amount, if you guys give like in 1 month time to pay off the $4,000, I
That's
think
all
I
by
will.
the state, that's not us.
Yeah, that,
The state has given, the state levies the fine. We have nothing to do with it.
you just pay it
You
here.
have to pay, the state is in charge of it.
Okay, so what are your recommendation before for you? What are you guys' recommendation to me
We're imposing.
to make it simple?
To ID every single person you sell a tobacco
No, that's-
nicotine product to.
That-
Hands down, that should be your policy, and it's
Yeah.
not happening.
No, one thing, you guys said that, right, there is some online displays, what is that?
Oh, I can
displays?
send that link to you
Happy to
tomorrow.
send
When I
that to you.
email you, I can send that to you.
No, we get the, what is that, display things and we put there in the store. We'll make sure that. If the, I don't know that about it at all.
I have a question.
ahead.
So he has 2 offenses already. So with this going forward, so does he go back to his first offense?
No,
or-
no, 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 it's
Okay.
cumulative, and
Okay.
is
All right,
actually,
that-
it's actually more than 2 offenses, it's just 2
Two
offenses
offenses
in the
that is
last
noted,
X amount of months.
2024, as of 2024. he's got
2023, 24.
December 2023 happened, these
two. Okay.
violations.
That was my question. I wasn't sure if he goes back to
Yeah, no,
one
apparently it's
offense.
cumulative, according
Okay.
to what this says,
Yep.
it's cumulative, it doesn't, in a 36-month period,
So
so.
if he does
you
it
go
again-
without it for 36 months, you don't have any problems, then you start back, it's like you reset at 0 after 36 months.
Okay,
Sort
perfect.
of like getting points on your driver's license.
Exactly.
So his third offense will be a 7-day?
No.
No, his third offense will be a 30 day.
30 days, okay. Is
Yeah,
that clear to
that's-
him?
That was just the opinion put forward.
That's my opinion too. Let's put
That's
it to
two
a vote.
opinions.
As long as it's clear to him.
I would like to make a motion and
Uh,
that we can, or can I not make a motion until after we're done talking?
Thank you. We'll close the hearing and then we'll,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if there is no other members of the public who wish to speak at this public hearing, I move to close the public hearing and return it to the board for deliberations and the adoption of a regulation by vote.
okay, time out 1 second. Are you all set, sir? Have you made the points you come to make tonight?
I'm sorry, I'm totally confused, so, say again, I'm sorry?
He wants to know, have you made
Have you said what you need to
your
say?
stand? Have we
Yeah,
heard
of course.
everything you need to say
Of
about
course,
it?
as I'm gonna take care of whatever the training, right? That I'll make sure my employees take the training. And also I get the display, free displays. I put the displays in the store, in both stores. And make sure that my employees will never sell underage tobacco products to underage people.
Thank you.
Can I say
We
something?
will do that.
Can I say something?
Okay, then.
Are you aware of what will happen if it happens again? I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
I
you
know the laws,
understand.
we know the
Okay.
laws, yeah.
Okay.
There is a policy, first offense, second offense, third offense, fourth offense. Even I heard story that permanently they cancel the license, I know.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you understand.
Do you have anything to say? No.
Mr. Chair,
You're just moral support?
Okay,
He
Dennis,
just smiles.
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I move to adopt the regulation outlined by our chair.
I don't think you fully outlined it. You want me to go with it for
On
you?
the first offense, in addition to the fine, the requirement would be that the employees at the facility the offending facility all have to take the online course offered by the state for the sale of tobacco products and produce evidence to the board that they've done that. On a second offense, in addition to the fines, a 7-day suspension of their license to sell tobacco products would be enacted. On a third offense, and I hope that we don't have any, a 30-day, in addition to the fine, a 30-day suspension of the license to sell tobacco products would be permanent, would kick in. And fourth, the subsequent offenses will result not only in the fine situations that apply, but a 1-year loss of the right to sell tobacco products.
Okay,
That would be the motion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Just so, because we're talking about very technical, in terms of whatever's written becomes our regulation, and that we actually vote the regulation, we have a written copy in front of us, and word for word what it's going to be, and we vote that at our next meeting.
That'd be fine, Dennis.
I think that gives us time to make sure that our great secretary has recorded everything accurately, and we've said what we intend to say.
Can I make a
Then
friendly
I would make-
amendment?
Then I'd make the motion to be that Laurie prepares the motion in writing to present to the board at the next meeting.
May I make a,
Second.
A second. The amendment would be,
that all loss of sale be terminated upon the sale to an uninterested party of said business, to that fourth year,
I don't know
that
if you
fourth
need that, because
violation.
that new person would have to come in and apply
For a new
for a
permit?
license, so that.
That's fine by me.
That's fine
I
with me.
think
I
the
just want to
big
make
issue
sure
is-
if things need to change hands,
Is
that
if it's just changing in a family, that's problematic. Because if we're married
We're not
and
gonna
we
let that
switch
happen.
it,
Yeah, we're not gonna let that
it's still
happen.
applying, so I think that was my only concern.
So do you want to do something more with it, or do you want to let that be, that they'd have to come in and apply for a license?
I'm happy if they have to come in and apply for a new one.
Okay, then all in
That makes
favor
me
of
happy.
the motion
I
as it
just try to
stands, and it's
help
been
people be
seconded?
successful. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You got that, Laurie? You okay with that?
I've got most of it, but I'll have to re-listen.
So scratch everything I said.
Okay.
That was quick.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what else did we have tonight?
Oh, can I leave now?
Yeah, you can
Yes.
sit down.
Thank you, you're good.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah.
And nothing personal, I just hope we don't see you again.
But yeah, sure, yeah, that's correct. I don't want to come here.
Thank you. I think we're good, unless anybody has any
Move to
new
adjourn.
or old
We
business.
need to determine our next meeting, Dennis. Hold
Oh.
on.
It says TBD, to be determined.
So the next
I
one
like
is
that
scheduled
date.
for the 17th of June. If we have stuff for the agenda, it would be the 17th of June.
Do we come in and get this tobacco stuff rolling?
I think
I'm
you
sorry?
should.
I think we need to get
That's
this
fine.
tobacco
Just-
stuff rolling.
the
Can we come in
17th
in
is
2
the
weeks?
next date.
Yeah, that'd be fine, Hattie.
Let's do that.
Is that what you want?
It is, because I
Everybody
want to
okay
get
with
this, we can have a nice quick, let's
No,
get this
the new
17th.
meeting.
up and
the next
active.
meeting.
Let's stop the sale of tobacco and
It's just a
nicotine
sign.
products to minors.
The word will get out very quickly.
Good. I hope it gets out before.
Yeah.
Well, you can guarantee that we'll be posting it.
And sending letters
It's,
to all of our
oh, yeah,
tobacco sale
yeah,
holders.
absolutely. And no, they will be hand delivered.
Okay,
Because that way you can't say, oh, I didn't get
Move to
it.
adjourn.
yeah.
I'll do what I did the last time and have a sign-off sheet, that when a clerk takes the letter, they will sign it to show that it was received in the store.
Yes, Larry?
So will this be a motion to continue the public hearing, or it's just a next meeting?
No, public hearing's closed.
Okay, just checking. Thank you.
Cheryl, anything?
This has nothing to do with any of this, but
I'm good.
Joe, this is Joe and everybody else knows, I don't know if anybody here knows, but Joe did a lot of the work for the new veteran thing out there.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yes,
Because
it
I
looks
was there.
lovely.
And I love Joe because of that, even though I'm from Quincy. We lost 50 kids in Quincy. And I just want to let y'all know what Joe did out there. He did a lot of that work for the veteran thing.
Thanks, Bill.
Very nice.
Thank you, Bill.
And it
Bill,
looks super
I would
duper.
like to extend our thanks and gratitude of all your years in the position that you've let me follow you in.
Because you're perfect. Long as you have a hand to get your house
Take it
going.
when you.
I got one for you, you know it.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So next meeting,